It's clobbering time. Yeah, I'm no Chuck McCann at that, but I try. Welcome, everyone. And unlike the old days, BTR, I don't have my old soundboard system like I used to. I miss that. Everything else about being at YouTube is so much better, though. I love it so much more. And well, I am excited to be here tonight, and we already have someone with us who just I got excited to see her. I am so happy to see the wonderful, and I know you're my guest is familiar with her, the wonderful Bionic Belly Button. Hail to you, beautiful lady! I am so honored to see you here. And anyone else who is there, they will start trickling in. Takes a little while if you're familiar with these streams. But tonight, here on the Clobberin Time, issue number 29, actually 729 if we go by legacy comic book type numbering, as we've been doing this for 11 years now. We just moved over here in April to Blog Talk Radio. And big shout out to the great Stone Loki for my very thingish Fantastic Four intro. I love it. I play that thing more than I should. I just love it so much. And I appreciate him for that. And tonight I want to welcome a very special guest with me here whom I've met many times. If you call a meeting in the chat, and you know what, because we all get along and have a lot of so much fun in those chats, I think it's sort of meeting, as I'm sure you'd agree. Yeah, I'm hearing feedback in the background. I don't know what it is, man. But well, I guess we'll have to plow through it. I guess I don't know where it's coming from, but Mr. Raymond Feliciano, author of the new science fiction novel All Spare, a Dolphin Wars novel, and there's of course that book right there, the book cover right there. Raymond, nice to finally get to talk to you, sir.
And pleasure meeting you. How you doing, Clobberin Time?
Oh, I'm all right, man. I'm all right. Oh, and of course, the wonderful Sandra Feliciano. Both, of course, are distinguished wrenches at the great Doomcock. Shout out to the great Doomcock. Doomcock's Friday Night Frolics and his streams. I do believe your better half is here, buddy. Better behave yourself. Sorry it took me so long, man. I mean, I'm going through all kinds of different things and not streaming as much as I would like to and stuff like that. And my phone goes off when I stream now, as you can hear. Sorry, I'm turning it down. But I am glad to speak with you now. And we have chit-chatted in the big Friday Night Frolics chats for a while right now. And you have done something, sir. Again, hail to those out there, the lovely Bionic Belly Button and the lovely Sandra Feliciano. You have done something, sir, that not many in our fandom has done yet, but it has been a couple of times because of what's been happening to so many of the wonderful fandoms and IPs that so many of us love out there. It's kind of a barren wasteland. So fans, as I like, a lot of people like to say these days, do the best work. And fans, because when you're a fan, you do it out of love. And I gather, we don't know each other well yet, but I gather you're a science fiction fan, or I guess you wouldn't be writing a science fiction novel. And I know you're a fellow comics fan, which we could talk about a little bit later. So you have done something, sir. You went out and did it. You got your book made. You got your book written out there. And congratulations to you, big time. I know it's just came out, a couple of months back now, right?
It's actually been out.
You there? Are you having difficulty?
It's been out since January.
Oh, my. Okay. I did not know that. I didn't know it had been that long. I'm sorry.
Yeah, January. Sorry about this, the feedback.
No problem. Not a problem, man. You know how YouTube is. You know how the StreamYard is.
Yeah.
You're good, bud. So it's been out since January, so it's relatively new, just getting out. And before we get into just telling us about it, how right now is it doing for you? I mean,
it's
what's the
not
status
doing
of that?
as well as I like.
Something? Are you having a technical difficulty or what? You there?
It's been the sales on Kindle aren't as well as I'd like, but I'm here.
But yeah, okay. I don't know if you're hearing me okay and everything. Are you all right? There? Okay. I got you. Well, just got to keep at it. I know you've been you've promoted it a good bit. You've been promoting it for a while now. I know we've talked a couple of times in the stream or in the chats about that. Why don't you just basically tell us what the book is about? Because this is I apologize. I've not read it because I haven't read anything lately. I can't really go. I won't go into what's going on now on this side of it. But I don't get a lot of chance to do much of anything except stream once in a while. Uh-oh, we lost him. Well, let's see. Raymond, try that link again. I'm sorry, everyone. I don't know if he's having technical or if it's StreamYards. I could try to send him another link, maybe. Oh, he's coming back. Okay. This happens with StreamYards. Was it? I believe our old buddy Doomcock was having all kinds of trouble with the StreamYard last night, so it could be that, bud. I don't know. But we'll get you right back up here as soon as it comes on. Yes, I'll send you another link there, man. Let me send you. Maybe it'll be a better link. I don't. Sometimes these links don't work. That happened to us the other night. With my good buddy Paulie, when I sent him a link, it didn't work. Let's try that one, sir, and see if that one works out for you.
Okay.
How about that, man?
I'm here.
Okay. All right, man. Well, that could have sussed it. Sometimes they got terrible links. I don't know if that one is. Well, let's push on and see if that is it.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah. All right,
okay.
We're on.
Well, we're on, and well, yes. Doomcock was having some terrible trouble with the StreamYards last night, so who knows? It could be what it is. It could be just kind of wonky. Well, why don't you? I guess we'll do it this way, since I'm not really a very Johnny Carson about it, because like I was telling you before I lost you there. There's been so much going on. I haven't read much of anything in a long time, so I have not read it. I don't have the book yet or anything like that. I do promise that I will order it, but I don't have a Kindle though. I'll just get I like physical copy anyway. I actually like Kindle, reading on the digital. I just don't have anything like that. But I don't know if you're old enough to remember Johnny Carson, but he used to always claim he read the guest's book. Whereas Larry King admitted, if you'll remember, Larry King, he said, "I haven't read the book, so you just tell us about it." And sure. that was a terrible Larry King book. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, first off, COVID really killed some of my book signings. I had 2 events. I've done 2 events. One was very successful. The other one, not as much. And then I had two future events that got canceled.
Bam.
So right now I've got about 22 copies of my book sitting here. So we can talk about if you want an autographed copy. I'd be happy to get one to you.
Well, I would love to, but I wasn't angling to get a free one now, dude. I will definitely order it from you, brother. That's cool, man. And but what we could do then is we'll do it the old Larry King way. Just give us a rundown for those who do not know. Just an outline of what it's all about, bud.
Sure. A little background on the story process. About 40 years ago, I had the basic line of the story. At that time, Battlestar Galactica came out, Star Wars came out, and I used those as my baseline and started writing. And I didn't like how it was going, and as the overlord said, is if you're a writer, you hate your writing. You have to hate your writing to get better.
That's
And
true.
I must have really hated it because it took 40 years before I had the final copy.
I can relate
So,
to that.
and
I understand that.
it went through lots of iterations before this. And then right after that, trying to find a way to publish it. And I tried the agent process, got tired of the rejections. I looked at what was then Create Space and looking at all the money I'd have to invest in that at that time. And I was getting frustrated. So once again, I talked to the overlord and he directed me to Kindle. And after, I'm a skeptical person, when it says free, I tend to say, okay, where's this going to cost me? And I said, I talked to Kindle, and they had there was an offer that was too good to be true, so I went through it, and thus and now it's out there. So now the story is about Jan Ando. He is a fighter pilot. He's second generation fighter pilot. Both his parents were fighter pilots. They were part of an Earth Defense Force. They have colonies on the moon, on Mars, in the asteroid belt, in Jupiter, a la The Expanse. And what happened was that his mother and father cut their teeth in the first Martian War of Independence. I mean, yeah, it sounds like the advance. A lot of these wars usually go this way, but I took separate trips. I decided to focus right on the family. So then the war got resolved. He gets born, he grows up, and then he joins the family business and gets stationed with his parents, and then they have to deal with the second Martian issue.
Mm-hmm.
So it does degenerate to a war. He has to deal with the usual death, loss, and then betrayal. And later, without going too much into it, later he does triumph over his demons.
Excellent. Now, you said you were writing this for decades.
Mm-hmm.
Did it? Obviously, you already mentioned that. That you. By the way, hello everyone who's popped in. The great Latino slant, yo, Paulie. Good to see you, my friend. Thanks for being here, buddy. And of course, Eastland Burkholder. Now, how radically would you say it has changed since when you first conceptualized it? You said you hated it. When you worked on, I mean, as a writer, I know what you're talking about. I'm not published, but I used to try to write all the time, and it's tough to like your own stuff. Did it change? I mean, is it recognizable in your head if you look back at it when you first started and right now? Is it 100% different, or did you just kind of streamline it and tweak it a lot?
Oh, it's totally different.
Renier, being here, totally different. So yeah, I mean, you were. I mean, well, when did you? Because you said you had it in your head a long time. When did you start actually sit down and at what point did you say this is the way? This is what I'm going to go with. This is what I'm going to put on the paper. When did that happen?
The original story I started after I graduated high school and went into the Air Force. And I had an old typewriter. I was borrowing my mother-in-law's typewriter, typed it out, and I didn't like, at that time, I wrote different chapters, but I could never finish a story. It just ended up story. Okay, where am I going to finish it? Then life happens. I stopped, kept coming back to it. Then another iteration, and then finally the light bulb came to me, and I found the perfect hitch. I found the perfect hit to what I think would draw readers to it and make it an enjoyable story and have the potential for future stories. And what's here now is a complete, I wouldn't recognize it 40 years ago.
Yeah. It evolved and changed a lot.
Oh, yeah. I went more into the character development. I went more into twisting. I wanted a person to say, okay, what is this guy thinking? What is this guy thinking with this twist?
I gotcha. We got some new wonderful people that popped in. I must say, this is the most beautiful my chat has ever been, man. Look at all the ladies we have there. The wonderful Donic Belly Button, Rennie A, your lovely better half, and we have who else? We have Stellar Heather. Oh my goodness, and Lori Wilson. My man, dude, you're the Fonz or what, man?
My fellow wrenches.
Yeah, some legendary wrenches indeed, and all hail Doomcock, by the way. So, well, obviously, for one, like if they were just walking into a store or something like that, and they see your title, all's fair, but they see your subtitle, a Dolphin Wars novel, that will definitely imply saga, not a one-off, right? So, would that be fair to say that you got many stories ahead for this saga?
Oh, yeah. I have currently Peacemaker is in the editing process, and I've been working with Fet for Hire, who's come up with some amazing covers for the book. I mean, I'm a gog at his talent.
Nice.
As a teaser, I'm going to put those on the website.
Nice. By the way, anyone, in the description below is not only a link to the Amazon page to order this book. There's also a link to Raymond's website about the book where you can read about it and things like that. I was also, did you know that site Goodreads? Did you put that description up there, or did someone else? Because I was looking at a little bit of that. It was telling a little bit about the book. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but someone put it up there anyway.
What is that?
It was a site called Goodreads that comes up in Google searches or whatever, and it talks about books and it gives a little synopsis of books, and then people comment on it and stuff like that. And so, if you didn't put on there, someone did. They put a.
You'll have to show me.
Okay, I'll see if I can put a link in the private chat there. You can. So again, I don't know if authors do that themselves or just someone reads it and likes it, or even whether they like them or not, they put them up there for people to decide. I don't know how that works, but I will put a link to it. Yeah, I should have linked it before. So put a link to it in the private chat if you, and if nothing else, I can put it on Twitter for you later.
Okay, sounds good.
But anyway, that's one. Anytime you pull up a book, just about any time. Go ahead.
Peacemaker is the second one, and then finally, maybe not finally, because I've already got another fourth book in mind, but I've got Blood Feud, which I'm still writing.
And are we talking trilogy, or are we talking even more than that? You're just getting started.
All depends on what comes into this old mind.
No, I got you. Because I know we've talked before about that. We're both comic book fans and of the Fantastic Four. So that always, to me, if you've read comics a lot, and I know you have, that means you like you like continuing characters or continuous characters and
Yes.
stories. So, where some stories are short, closed up, short, or one book, some are 3 books and they close them up. Looks like you got one that you would like to continue for a while there.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Nice. That's
Um,
nice. That's excellent.
I really love my characters. There's few that I love more than another. One that's probably I'd like to kill. I know Sandra, she's read the book and she detests one of my characters.
Oh, man.
Yes.
So she says, all right, I don't like this one. You better kill him. Kill the hero. You better kill this one, right?
I can't kill that character.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's a quandary I'd never conceived of, Raymond. Where you could I guess an author of a book writes something and their better half. I wonder how often that happens. The better half comes in and says, "Hey, this character here, I don't like whoever it is, whether it's he or she. So torch him." What if that happens a lot?
She's looked at some original stories. She said, this needs to come out of it. Get this out of here. And I listened to her. But there are just some of the characters that they're too integral to the story.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. So. I've often wondered when writers kill characters that they created, not, as you well know, and writers take on comic book characters they didn't create and then they kill them and screw around with them and all that kind of stuff. But if you created it, I'm sure you feel it a lot more when it's just somebody else's character.
Yeah.
Even if it's a character you spend a lot of time on.
Mm-hmm.
But I get you got to kill some, but
yeah.
It's always seemed to me that some writers just like to be mean to their characters. Just I don't know, like to really put them through hell.
So,
but you got to do a little of that now, or you won't have a story.
Yeah. Yes.
We see, but continue, please. Anything else? Let's talk a little bit more about here.
Sure. Again, I don't want to spoil the book too much.
No.
But and people have asked me, okay, why Dolphin Wars? And I said, and I will give this. They say, why Dolphin Wars? And I said, okay, there are dolphins involved, and they are alien dolphins, and that's really all I'm going to give out.
Well, yeah. So what you're saying then is you're the teaser, or not the title is almost a teaser, Dolphin Wars. And if someone comes across that and goes, what the hell are Dolphin Wars? You can say, hey, you better open it up. You got to open it up to find out.
You got that right.
See, I like that title because it makes you go, well, dolphins have wars? So they're going to have to read it to find out. Yeah, you don't want to give up. You don't want to say, if someone says, dude, what do you mean Dolphin Wars? You say, hey, you have to read it to find out. That's the way it goes, man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's not like So Long and Thanks for All the Fish by Douglas Adams.
Yeah.
The dolphins in that they're pretty smart too.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're familiar with that book. With The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Douglas Adams. Yeah.
I haven't read that one.
Yeah, it was an old BBC radio show, then it became a TV show that did books of them. He had 5 books in his trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
So, who popped in there? Canadian Spider-Man. Hail, Clobberin times. Good to see you, sir. All right, man. All kinds of famous people from the big Friday Night Frolic streams that I've met there. So
I really am glad. I am really glad everybody is out here. Please click the like button, and if you haven't subscribed to Clobberin Times, please do.
Well, thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Well, I've again, you've got a nice pitch because I like the thing.
He's my favorite, man. He's my favorite.
Yeah, and so
well, let's see. what again? I'm not because you don't want to spoil anything. But are there things though that you would like to say about it? Other, rather than getting into the story and spoiling it for anyone, because that's a good idea. I mean, it's still out there, and it's still you can still get it on Kindle. And again, everyone in the description below is where you can check out the Amazon page for the book and Raymond's website. But if anything you can think of, and it doesn't have to be much, but is there anything else that you have not covered that you would say to anyone who was curious about the book?
Sure. If anybody wants the technobabble in most science fiction things, you're going to be disappointed. I am not a physicist, but what I've done is I've taken a lot of my military background and led and went with that. So there is going to be a lot of military tactics, a lot of organizations that people may not be familiar with, but don't let that just detract from the book. The plot and the story are more important. The rest is just background coverage, and a way of making things, a way of leading you along.
I got you. Some people like the techno stuff, some don't. I mean, if you're not a scientist, it can probably be cumbersome in a sense. I mean, I love the way they do it on some of the later of real Star Trek, Next Gen and Deep Space Nine and things like that, in the sense that they sound pretty sciencey and they sound credible what they're saying, even if you don't get all the scientific jargon, but it doesn't take away from the characters.
Right.
There have been some science fiction novelists that get criticized for being way too dry and technical. Robert A. Heinlein used to get that, and I don't agree with it that much. But you could probably have said that for Arthur C. Clarke, maybe, and Robert, and Isaac Asimov. Though they were geniuses. They were scientists as well. But characters more important, and your story's more important. Yeah.
Characters and the plot.
Yeah, well, you got to have that to move along, Oh, absolutely. And
yes,
like no, go ahead.
I'm very proud of this work, and I'm more important. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Because on Star Trek, they always had to have like technical advisors to tell them all that stuff. Hey, I just wrote this. Is this possible? And then they got to put all that dialogue. That the actors don't know what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
well, my thought is, I don't care if it's possible or impossible. It's going to happen.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
My thought is a good author is going to make the impossible fit into the story.
Agreed. I mean, the point is the entertainment about it, and it's art. You're supposed to make things up. Again, I like some hardcore, hard tech science fiction, but to be honest with you, you got to have the characters in the story. So that's why, like again on Trek, we don't mind that they do things like they go at warp speeds that some theorize aren't exactly possible. Some still think that transporters will never be possible. They're a wonderful story device, though.
Yes, they are.
Plus, we have a comic book background, so we're used to seeing like Reed Richards stretch around like Plastic Man, and yet he's a scientist.
Mm-hmm.
Would he believe that he can exist? And yet he does. I think you were telling me. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say. I think you were telling me you've been reading some FF of late.
Oh yeah. When that DVD came out, 44 years of the FF, I snatched that up.
Nice. I have that also.
Yeah, I'm about to the Burn saga.
When he started writing and drawing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, 232 is where he started. He had drawn the book a little bit before that, but as far as when he took over the writing and the drawing chores, which he did for many years. I like his first couple of years on the book. It was really good. So you're in for some good stuff now. You know? Yeah, it was a good run. Very
definitely.
good. Hope no one gets mad at us for slipping over to comics for a second there.
Well, comics, yes, I'm going to date myself. I turned 60 in a couple weeks. And so I have seen everything. I've seen the most of the good science fiction shows when they were first run.
Yes.
I've seen stuff. I told a cousin one year that after I hadn't seen her for years, I told her, yes, I'm still into Star Trek. She said, I know, we were trying so hard to break you of it. So I've seen all of the first run stuff, all the rerun stuff, comic books collected galore. So I've seen the Star Wars. I've seen Battlestar Galactica. Actually, this may be heresy, but I actually liked the original Battlestar when it came out a lot more than Star Wars when it came out.
Well,
maybe because I was more into the battles, the hopeless causes.
Dude, I love the original Battlestar Galactica. I love that show. Yeah. I adore it. So no, you won't get any static out of me about it. But it was a great show, and I think now it's very fondly remembered. It should have gotten a second season instead of what they did with Galactica 1980, which was a shame. I was so upset when it was canceled. Mm-hmm. Look, I loved it. So I was buying the Marvel comic at the time. Was really good. I don't know if you were reading that comic.
Oh yeah, I was.
Oh God, I had a subscription, and
I had a fight with my barracks mates to try and get Battlestar Galactica time.
Nice. Oh man.
Because one TV in the day room, and 8 guys wanting to watch 8 different things.
Man, dude, I remember when the pilot film was cut into a movie and put in theaters and played in Sense-Around, the Battlestar Galactica pilot in 1978. I went a couple of times.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember Sense-Around.
Oh,
I'm old. I'm up there too, man. I'm 56, man. So we're in the same generation there of geek fans and stuff. Yeah.
But I would say Battlestar Galactica was the one that got me into the writing of my story.
Really? Nice. Yeah. That show, look, it wasn't Star Trek in the sense of heavy science fiction or issues, philosophical science fiction. It was more like, it was definitely, and again, I'm not saying this because of Lauren Green, it was a Western in space. It really was Bonanza in space, which I love. Bonanza. It was a great show. He was old Ben Cartwright in space in a sense, and you had great characters because it was a wholesome family show, but a science fiction adventure. And I love the characters, especially Starbuck. Who didn't love Starbuck,
Who doesn't love Starbuck?
Oh, man. So, it's a great show.
In either gender.
Yeah, well, yeah. Dirk Benedict is a really cool dude. I met him. He's a really nice guy, too. But, yeah, I hear what you're saying. I never really watched the new one much. I was always just a big fan of the old one. But, what do we got there? What?
Yeah. But,
oh, there we go. Well, my good friend Paulie with Latino Slant would love to talk to you on his show, apparently, saying, I don't know if you're familiar with Paulie, but he's one of my great friends here on YouTube. He has a wonderful channel. It's called Latino Slant. He's a big geek like the rest of us. He loves a lot of the same stuff we do, and he has been just a great buddy. He's been on here with me many times. He's been he has a good buddy, member of his show, the great Kai, Makes Fun Stuff channel, who's also, like yourself, just got written a book. His just got just hit earlier this month. his own science fiction novel. So you got, guys are kindred spirits, and he's been interviewed in a lot. Interviewed on a lot of shows, and there you go. Well, look, I'm
I'd love
sure
to
you'd enjoy.
talk to Latino Slant. Let's get it hooked up.
Well, there you go. Absolutely. Well, that'll be terrific. You know how you wrench for Doomcock? Well, I've never wrenched before until I started wrenching for Paulie there, and of course, it's not. It's I'm still learning how to do it, so I'm not very good at it like you guys are. But
well, these guys, these wrenchers are amazing. I've learned a lot from them.
Well, he and Paulie is the man. He's such a great dude, and he's got a great channel. This past week, they interviewed Andy Vargas, the lead singer of Santana, just the other night, and he does an X-Files watch show on Thursday nights, and of course he does his regular show on Thursday nights and others. And he's the man. You're the man, brother. And I got my Latino Slant mug in, so now I'm, part of the brethren.
Yeah, we'll get together.
There you go, man.
Let's see. Anything?
Well, let's see. That, of course, anything you have to say about the book. Like I say, I wanted you to be the judge of that because, like you say, you don't want anyone. I mean, you don't want to spoil or anything, but anything, you got plenty of time, man. Anything you want to elaborate on with regards to the book, short of telling everyone that happens in it, of course, which you could if you wanted to.
Well, I can go into the basic plot line of the second one.
Feel free, brother. We're here for you, man. Anything you want to do, buddy.
Again, it's in the editing, the process. Basically, what that one is Jan gets a family of his own, and then there is a universal crisis that involves them, and they learn a lot about themselves that a lot of his family does not like. And that one I will leave. It puts a strain on their family bonds. So
yeah. Well, so far since you released it, again, this book, for those who do not know, was released back in January. Raymond tells me. How has, I know you said you want the sales to be a lot better, and you're working on that end of it. Have you been getting a lot of feedback from a lot of people and stuff? How's that been going?
Strangely enough, on Amazon there's about 4 reviews, and that's stayed constant. Some other people have come to me saying it's a great book, and what I said is, yeah, it's fine. You're telling me it's a great book.
Get out there.
Put it on Amazon.
Yeah, put the review up. Yeah.
Put it on Amazon and tell people how you like it. Because from what I understand, and I'm still learning Amazon, is that if you get a certain amount of reviews, then Amazon helps you out. So I tell people, if you enjoy the book, put it out there. If you don't like it, send me an email and tell me how I can probably best change this future books.
I got you. Oh, but thank you so much for being here, Bionic Belly Button. Like I said, she's going to be listening on the way. But thank you for joining us in the chat as well. You are wonderful.
Bionic Belly Button, you take care.
She'll be listening, she said, but she's going to be driving. So
okay.
Love you, Bionic Belly Button. We missed you last night there.
Love you, Bionic Belly Button.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's so awesome.
Yeah. And
all the ladies here are awesome.
Yeah.
So we're some lucky dudes tonight, man.
Yeah.
All of us here.
all my fellow wrench team. You guys are the best.
Indeed. Lori, you are amazing too. You're awesome. Lori Wilson. Rennie A. Love you for being here. Thank you so much. But yeah, like I said, I understand you don't want to tell everybody everything that happens in it. But like I say, cover everything you need to cover. You got plenty of time, man. And if you've got anything you need to say about it,
actually, if people in the chat want to ask questions and if I can answer them, I'd be happy to.
Okay. If anyone has some questions for Raymond, please put them up there. Eastland. I had well, that's similar. Actually, there, Eastland. I was going to.
Go ahead. You first. You're the
Well,
host.
one of the questions I was going to ask. It's by the way, everyone forgive it. It's the standard silly ask an author question, but you're an author, so you're going to get it asked to you. Do you have any influences in terms of people that either it don't have to necessarily have influenced your work, but just writers that either influence you or you just like a lot? Who are some of your favorites?
I've been very eclectic in my reading tastes. I I've liked Frank Herbert. I've liked the various writers for like Star Wars and Star Trek. My favorite author, I don't know if a lot of people know him, is W.E.B. Griffin. No, he's not science fiction, but he's a military thriller. My favorite series of all time is his series, The Corps. It talks about the Marine Corps in World War II.
Nice.
And even though I'm Air Force and they're Marines, it's giving me really, really good insights on character development. And he's probably my biggest influence, like, even though he's not science fiction.
Excellent. I've only heard the name. I have not read any of it. So, but still, there you go. I mean, every influences are, it doesn't never have to be in the same field or genre at all.
I've rarely read it. I've rarely read the greats. Martin Caidin, I've read it and liked one of his books.
Did you say Martin Caidin?
Yeah, Martin Caidin. I've got a book from him.
He created the $6 Million Man. The first book was called Cyborg. Yeah.
But a lot of the books that I've been recently reading are, again, involved with Star Trek and Star Wars.
Yeah. A lot of good Trek books, a lot of good Star Wars books. Timothy Zahn books are great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I love the Zahn books. He should create one of the movies.
Oh, man, he should have been from the get-go with his new Disney crap. They should have let him just be in charge of writing them. Man, and they should have adapted Heir to the Empire, but that's another sad tragedy. The great Canadian Spider-Man, the spectacular Spider-Man, in fact, asks, Raymond, what gave you the courage to actually put your book in public, Raymond? What gave you the courage for it? Well, you're a courageous guy, I would imagine. So,
I don't know if it's so much courage, but knowing I have a good story. It's been a lot of hard work. I want to get it out there. However, I'd say the biggest thing that daunted me is the money to spend to get the book out there.
Yeah, well, dude, it does take courage, because there are plenty of people who write or want to write and they never stay with it, stick with it, go through all the pains. You write it, you get it out, and when you do get it out there, I think it takes a hell of a lot of courage, because you're putting something out there in the public. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how it'll be received. Mm-hmm. You're taking a lot of risk. No, dude, I agree with this, the question like that it does, and I admire it, man.
My biggest thing is putting myself on Twitter. I know what a cesspool it is. I've been leery about doing it, but as long as I go in there with the mindset that I'm only using Twitter to sell a book, that's all it is. I'm not getting involved with the crap. So,
no, you're better off. Twitter's a cesspool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But there are a lot of, I have met and kept contact with a lot of nice people on there too. So,
there are great people. There are great people on the cesspool. There are great people on Twitter. As long as I keep focused on them.
Something like crazy number, like something almost like 3 or 4% of all the people who were on Twitter even tweet. It's an insane low number like that, and yet people let it dictate what's going on in the world. It's insane, man.
Yeah.
Insane.
And my thought is, with the social justice garbage that's out there,
Yeah.
what I told author Stephen Walton is, write a good story and everything falls into place. You don't have to I have a very diverse cast of characters, both national, both ethnically, religiously, but it's within the context of the story. So they don't have to be Mary Sue's as long as you explain why they're a Mary Sue.
Oh yeah.
Why they're strong.
Well, you flesh them out. You make them. It's getting kind of. I'm always a little bit reluctant for the term, but relatable does work. I guess not one of my favorite terms, the way it's been abused, but relatable. Or you make them fallible. You make them, no matter whether they have superpowers or whether they're just really great at all kind of stuff. Superman's not perfect either. Just to use an example. People say, well, he's too perfect, so he's not interesting. Well, yes, he makes mistakes and he has weaknesses also. Yes, he can do all these crazy things we can't do, but you can make any character. One of my favorite writers of all time, and we'll be doing a show about him next week, is, of course, a comic book writer, a nut job named Alan Moore, but he wrote some of the greatest comics ever. He once said, and I'm not sure don't get me wrong, I'm not sure he's attributed to this quote. I'm not sure he wasn't taking it from somewhere else like he did a lot of his stories. But he once said, there are no bad writers. There are no bad characters. There are only bad writers.
Yeah.
Meaning, he just simply said, because people used to tell him, why would you bring this character back? Why would you write this character? And he would always say, well, look, no matter who the character is, a good writer can do something good with them. He believed
my lead female character is Tanya. She's Jan's mother. She is a badass, but she's a badass within the context of the story. You can't be a wallflower and be a fighter pilot. You have to be, but it's within the context of the story. And she's not afraid to put her emotions on her sleeve. She falls in love and gets married during a war. What's wrong with that?
No, it works for me. I mean, great characters, depend on the writers. And Canadian Spider-Man, was it expensive or costly for you to get published? What's this question?
Well, fortunately, my editor, Michaela Hurd, I told her about my story, and she said she volunteered to help with the editing. So she was a big help. And then, once it was done, fortunately, like I said, I went through Kindle, and Kindle pretty much does it for free. But you still got to do marketing costs. So I would say it's costly, but it's not breaking my bank.
Gotcha. No, that makes sense. My buddy Eastland Burkholder asks, what skills did you have to develop to be able to tell your story? He said for him, for me, I wanted to write. We had to get a tiny bit better at sketching to write. Did you have something similar like that? Did you hone your skills?
My best skill is my imagination. I cannot draw. I design my plots in my head. One good thing with a lot of my commute to work way back when is I can talk my plot, talk my story in my head. So my best thing is probably imagination, as I can flesh it as I'm walking down the street. I'm sure people were wondering, what's this maniac doing talking to himself? But that's how my thought process went. Then once I came to that, I was able to put it on the typewriter or the computer.
Well, I guess that kind of goes part and parcel.
I think the best thing to do is, if you can't draw, just have a damn good imagination.
Yeah, God, I wish I could draw. All I could do is imagine. I'm like that. I'm the same way, man. Because I'm envy our friends who can draw. I really do.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. It would be nice. Yes, Eastland, verisimilitude is what it should have. It should feel real and true, even if it's a fantasy or science fiction. Absolutely, and the best stories do that. You may be watching something totally ludicrous that doesn't. It's not possible, but you're enjoying these characters in the story, and you just go with it. And that's absolutely right, sir.
And then the next thing is my background. You will see that I'm a private pilot, so I know enough about flying, but I'm not a military pilot. But being in the Air Force, I've been with other pilots, and I just took that and put it into my story.
Excellent. Let's see here. And there's the thing. You got to make the character. I mean, I don't know, man. I tell you, you know how you hear a lot from the SJW types that, and just maybe this modern generation, their go-to, their default often with new things or characters in general, or whether it's a TV show or a movie, is that they want to see themselves. You hear that a lot now. I don't see myself in these cases. I can't even relate to that. I never needed to see me. I'm not interested in seeing me when I see the Thing. And I do relate to him a lot of ways, actually. But when I see Spider-Man, I can't relate to him that much in terms of what he can do. I don't care what a character looks like, or I don't need. It's not a necessity. Not that you can't relate to some characters sometimes. But I could name many, many stories where I did not really relate to the characters, but I was entertained. And you can relate to them on some levels. They always want to relate on the very superficial level that they use this term that drives me crazy. Looks like me. No, they don't need to look like me. No. You can relate to people that don't look like you. It's so superficial.
Yeah. I wish I was Jan, but as I've wrote him, I know Jan is definitely a unique character.
Yeah. You got to get behind your characters, and you got to love your characters. And yes, there's obviously, I'm sure there's a lot of you in there.
Yeah.
Because
it has to be.
Yeah, because it has to be. Well, absolutely. I saw a plot.
I mean, what you're a pilot, you fly, you're rich.
Yeah. But you could create a character if you've never even been in a plane before. But if it's a pilot, you can still create a compelling character, but you're going to have to learn some things about what that character does.
Exactly.
But of course, in your case, if you are a pilot, as you are, that's got to help with a character.
Yeah, you got to put the context in.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it saves us some research in your case.
Exactly.
Let's see here. Oh, Eastland asked, do you voice record your writing?
Nope.
You don't do that? Okay.
Nope. I just when I can get a chance and can put it in there, I put it on. I put it into the computer.
Canadian Spider-Man, how many book ideas do you have in your head, Raymond?
Oh boy. I'm currently working on my third book, and I have a drop of a fourth, but that one's depending on how I wrap up number 3.
I got you. I slightly beg to differ with you on that, Eastland. If you take a look at the Hugos, they're overrun by SCWs. So SCWs, unfortunately, are writing now, but they're not writing anything other than, well, they're propagandizing, but maybe you can't call it writing, so I guess you have a point in a way. Well, go ahead and concede that point to you, Mr. Beckholder, for a 10-point shot. Yep, Alexandra says, let's see, me and my entertainment. I want a good story. Sandra just pretty much lays that. That's me. I want a good story.
Exactly. Let the story drive you.
Well, and there's a difference between relating and seeing yourself. I mean, you'll see elements of yourself, even in the most alien of characters, or the most characters that are as different from you as possible. If they're human or a sentient being in any way, you're still going to relate on some levels. But again, I think what these SCW people are talking about is they want to see them. They actually want the superficial effect of seeing themselves, and they're the ones who are they're completely race obsessed or gender obsessed and things like that. And that's what I can't relate to, at all. And that's what's killing fiction. Yeah. Eastland, let's see here. Yeah, well, I agree. I'm not the character my height or gender or to be engaged with that character. That's right.
How does the character interact with each other?
That's exactly right. Let's see. Sandra, I'm working on a board game and a space romp sci-fi novel. Okay, well, that's great. Eastland, fantastic, man. Being creative. Yeah. That's right. Both you, Raymond, and our buddy that we mentioned earlier, Kai, did it, man. You came out and you did it. You did your own thing. You did it work, because a lot of times, as I'm sure you probably heard at some point, when those of us are critical of what's going on with current, whatever it is, all my favorite fandoms have been destroyed, but all my favorite was my Star Trek and my comics and my Star Wars and Doctor Who and things like that. But a lot of people will point things. Oh, let's see. Let's see you do it. Well, obviously not everyone can do it, but you are. Kai is, and others do. And another great that I love to quote sometimes, the great Gary from Nerdblotic. I love Gary. He says it a lot, and I agree with him. Fans do the best work.
Yeah.
Because how many times have we seen a property, if you want to use that term, that you love or I love, taken over, redone by someone who is one thing, not a fan.
And that's one thing. That's one thing. I've already decided if this goes the way I want to, the last thing I want to do is to have that rat get his grubby paws on this.
Yeah. Oh, and that's a concern, man. I tell you, because Terry Pratchett, one of the big writers, just recently, and I have not read the books, but I know a lot of friends who are fans of the Discworld books, and they've just adapted. They've adapted it a couple times before. They're famous books, and they got a new adaptation, film adaptation, or is it a miniseries? One or the other, I think. It's coming out now, and fans are just livid at how bad it was, including Terry Pratchett's daughter, who came out and said that shares no DNA with my father's book, and it's again. All the cliches you and I were just talking about. SJW is all over. It's wokeness, woke world. And again, he has passed on, passed away. But I can only imagine an author like Pratchett, and many authors have seen this, seeing your work when being adapted into that medium of film, just stepped all over. Has got to be painful. That's your baby, I mean.
Yeah. Like Jan's fiance, she starts out as a, part of my language, a bitch. She's in the academy. She decides to start hazing him, maybe a little more. Again, I don't want to twist it, but But yeah, she's a total bitch.
Sometimes they're the best characters. I mean, I don't know about you.
Strangely enough, I enjoy, besides Jan, I enjoyed writing the female characters in this book.
Ah, excellent. Well, that's good. Um, science fiction has been a place where some of the great female characters, and I always hate the term strong woman this or strong woman that. That doesn't mean a lot to me because people are both strong and weak. All people are both strong and weak alternately. So they just want to see a strong woman. And what they really want is the Mary Sue that we were talking about earlier. They think that they confuse a character like Ray or somebody with strong. I'm like, no. A character that is strong is Kira Nerys.
Oh my God, yes.
What a wonderful character. Or again, a lot of the female characters in Star Trek. And I can't help but think, Raymond now, I didn't used to do this, but because of all that clatter about strong woman this and strong woman that, and they're anything but, because they were written by SJWs, anytime I go back now, whatever I watch, whether it's an old science fiction or any other film or TV show, that's in the back of my head, and I'll watch it and I'll be going, wait a minute, I thought there were no strong characters, female characters until 2015. But this show is from 1996. How can that be? Because these people don't know what the hell they're talking about. And you don't write them as, hey, you know what? I'm going to sit down here, and I'm sure you didn't sit down and go, this character is going to be a strong woman, and everyone's going to think I'm a wonderful, great guy because I wrote her that way. You write a person.
Yeah. And Tanya just fell into place. Lorena just fell into place. It was all within the context of the story.
Yes. I got a noise going on. Hang on one second. I'll be right back, Raymond.
Sure. Okay. How's it doing? Okay. Okay.
Sorry about that, everyone. Had a bit of a technical thing. I thought I'd lost the stream there. All right, we're back. I'm sorry about that, sir.
Oh, no worries. It gave me the chance to pull up, if people want to hear this, I pulled up my story, and if people would like me to read like the first page or so,
that would be certainly. If you want to do that, that would be fantastic.
I did that on a Discord, but I didn't know if people were gonna like hearing it or not. So if the chat's okay with hearing it, I'd be happy to.
Certainly. Like I said, that is your call, and I think that'd be great.
Okay.
Just just say when. Say when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Go for it, sir. I'm going to mute so you can do that. Go ahead.
Okay. It is lovely here in the watery world that we inhabitants know as paradise. I have lived here for over an eternity. I have seen many great things in the great universe that the Creator, blessed be She, has left us. My experiences and those of my family is legendary. Now about me. Throughout my long life, I have been known by many names, mother of us all, doctor, arrogant bitch, among others. The name I prefer to be called is Katri, daughter of Jan. This is my story and how I came to rule all. It was a good time for people on Earth. After dealing with the horrors of a Third World War, overpopulation, and resource depletion, humans developed technology to take them into space. They formed the first colonies in 2050 on the Moon and Mars. However, the problems that caused conflict on Earth simply migrated to the colonies. In order to keep the peace in the colonies, the United Earth government organized the Space Defense Force. Despite this, tensions between Earth and the Martian colonies continued until they flared and became the brief but violent conflict of Martian independence in the early part of the 22nd century. It was July 8, 2136, and while in the officers' crew quarters of the escort carrier Boyington, the alarm buzzed loudly until a man's hand knocked it onto the floor. After it crashed on the floor, a soft female voice with a Mediterranean accent said, "Real mature, Lieutenant Ando." Lieutenant Truan Ando rose from the bed and said, "Sorry, Lieutenant Levy, but you know I hate alarms." He rose from his rack and said, "It's times like this I miss fishing with Grandpa in the South China Sea." He looked down at the young woman just rising from his bed. She looked fit and athletic. Her tan skin only had one mark, a small birthmark in the shape of a dolphin on her back between her shoulder blades. Trans always thought it looked sexy. "So, Tanya, who did you buy off to not fly this mission?" "Ha! You know darn well why. Captain Dickhead just had to have the best pilot in the wing on his road to glory." Tanya turned and rose from the bed and walked around in her nightshirt. She walked over and kissed Tran on his back. "I wish I could fly with you, but he stuffed me away at Pry-Fly and the CIC today." Pry-Fly was responsible for controlling the carrier's flight operation, and the Combat Information Center handled strike operations. I knew he would succeed in breaking us up, the best team in the wing. I really have a bad feeling about this op. "Yes, and you told me this 10 times before. I also have a feeling of impending doom. But we do our duty, Lieutenant Ando. I really have to go now. I got to get the ready room set up before I go to Pry-Fly." She got up and kissed him and jumped into her sweats. "Hey, wait, I want to say something," but she already left his canyon. If you want more, then the book is available for your reading enjoyment.
And there is a link in the description below to the Amazon page where the book is available, and also to Raymond's website below. And as I was telling you about earlier, Raymond, they have that thing. You're also, I don't know who put it there, but you were put on Goodreads. So, you might want to check that out, and maybe you can edit their description. Maybe maybe you can do that. I don't know who put the description up there, but there is a description of the book, and I don't know how long it's even been up there, but I don't know if Kindle or Amazon does that. I'm not sure.
That's the first I've heard of it. I'll have to really take a look at that.
Sometimes when you put up, I've noticed when I Google a book of whatever sort, even comics sometimes, you'll see Goodreads come up. And yeah, it's so there you go. And then it'll, again, I don't know how long this has been up here, but it tells when it was published, but it doesn't say when this was put on Goodreads, but it's relatively recently. And sometimes people who have read the book will go on there and put their reviews and such, which can be done. So I guess if you got the word out for that, maybe people will go put reviews on there. Maybe that's better than having them on Amazon. I don't know.
Yeah. I'll have to look into that. Thanks for letting me know.
Sure. I look on there sometimes when there's a book I haven't read that I just want to see what people think about it. So, Matt G, thank you for popping in.
Hi, Matt G.
Let's see here. What Eastland? Oh, Claxton is the alarm. So, yeah, I like the Claxtons on Battlestar Galactica. That makes me want to go back and watch Battlestar Galactica, but I don't have.
Yeah.
It's been a whole 2 years since I binged it. Only 20-something episodes,
Yeah.
That is.
One day I'll probably have to get it on. I'll have to get it on the. I don't know. It's a flip right now. It's a flip because after watching the current Battlestar Galactica and then looking at them previously, I don't know. It's going to be like a toss up between that and Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea, whatever one I want to have in my book, in my DVD case.
I think they just put a lot of the Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea out. A buddy of mine brought a bunch of them over a while back. We watched some, and great show. Loved it. That first season was very different.
Yes, definitely.
It was like more of a spy show. Of course, it was the film too. You know, it was a movie before, as I'm sure you remember. We watched that as well. But yeah, I love that show. That was a pretty good show. I have the old Galactica DVD set from. I mean, I don't know. They put it back in the '90s. It's the Cylon head from the case.
Yeah, I've seen that one, and every time I walk by it, I say, should I buy this or should I hold off? And I have the entire current Battlestar Galactica along with its spin-offs, but I just don't have the original one.
Well, they did just do very recently the Blu-ray of the original. So yeah, I don't know exactly what it goes for. Just like they did another Blu-ray of Buck Rogers, even though I got the old DVD set, I want the Blu-ray now. Yeah. So I like getting the Blu-rays, even though I already have the DVDs. I'm one of those. So, but man, what else? Anything else that you need to cover about the book, man? You have plenty of time to do so if you want.
I'm happy to answer any other questions that are in the chat.
All right.
Again, everybody, please subscribe to Clobberin Times.
Oh man, you're too kind. You don't have to say that. Thank you, though. Appreciate it, man. We're just getting started here. And I had to run out of the room for a second last night when I came back and realized Doomcock had shouted me out. I'm just so touched. He's the man. Doomcock,
he is the best.
Doomcock, I'm just going to embarrass your ass forever, buddy. I know you're not hearing me now, but I'm just sitting out there in the ether. You're the man, and everyone loves you, bud. He's been a good buddy of mine. Back in early 2019, he didn't have to do it. He came on my stupid podcast over on BTR and hung out with me for over an hour or so. I put that video up on. I have a video for those who have not listened to it yet of that show when he just hung out with me, and it was it was so much fun. It was so cool.
Yeah. And he is the best. I'm glad to be involved with him. I'm glad to call him a friend.
Yeah.
And I've been around since I'd say 2.5 years, I think.
Nice.
But he is the best.
I've
thought about a channel myself, but what have I got? One, time is an issue. I do have another job.
Right.
But what have I got to offer? My books. That doesn't bring a lot of content.
Well, I mean, I enjoy it, and we're having a lot of fun meeting. A lot of us new ones, new up and coming YouTubers are just starting out. We got a great little community going on amongst those of us who are just kind of getting started. But yeah, if you're not really into it, but if you do feel like doing it, I can tell you it's a lot of fun. I mean, but it depends on what you're interested in talking about, and do you feel like going on? As you can see, I use an avatar, but some people go on camera and some don't.
I think I'd rather be a guest on a channel.
You are always welcome to come on here and just hang and just talk comics anytime you have
I appreciate
whatever. When I do the open show,
I want to get your takes on the Legion.
So I didn't know you're a Legion fan, aren't you?
Oh yeah.
Oh God, man. The only group I love almost as much as I love the Fantastic Four is the Legion of Superheroes.
Oh yeah.
In a couple of weeks, a buddy of mine we're going to be doing just an all-out Legion show because we have not done one in a few years, and we're so sick as Legion fans. We play the Legion name game, and how you play that is you name a Legionnaire of one of two ways. Like for example, if you were going to say, what's just an easy one? Let's say Superboy. You got to give the name. You say Kal-El or Clark Kent. Other way around, you can do it the other way around too. You could say like, okay, Clark Kent, Superboy. But you can do it with a lot of the more obscure ones. So you got to come up with the name after someone names it. And you don't have to give the superhero name. You could give their real name or either way. But we usually give the superhero name. Like we'll say Sunboy, and you got to give his name, that kind of stuff. So, which is
Okay.
ridiculous.
Tell you what. Try Jonah.
Ultra Boy
Yep.
from the planet Rimbor. And as much as I love Ultra Boy, he does have the dumbest origin of all time.
Oh yeah.
Jim Shooter. Let's see, Raymond. Were there? Excuse me. Were there any unexpected challenges you had to overcome to get the book published?
Finding someone that can do it. Finding someone how to do this without breaking the bank.
Right.
I was looking at Create Space, and it looked like I was going to pay about $1,000, and then I went to Books A Million. It looked okay. But then when I was ready, they went out of business. They stopped their publishing.
Wow.
So it was like, where am I going to publish this book? So fortunately, the Overlord pointed me to Kindle, and evidently after they took over Create Space, they put it where it hardly covers, it hardly costs the author anything to publish. But of course, it's up to the author to get the book out there.
Gotcha. Well, that was a good question, though.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of people wonder that. I mean, how do you get these things out there now? I'm obviously, even though, I mean, how would I know? But my presumption is it used to be even way, way, way harder when you had to rely on getting a literary agent, and that was it.
Yeah.
So
I think all a literary agency gets you is probably gets the publisher and a way to get your books like put into Barnes or Noble or Books a Million or the airport news counters. That's all really an agent does.
Yeah.
And then really, once you sign your life away to an agent, how much of the content do you keep?
Yeah, there's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to really you have to be Tom Clancy to make any money, I guess, with that stuff like that, I guess. Huh? Yeah.
The first big expenditure is when I paid for copyright.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
And that's important. I know that technically the material is copyrighted the minute you put pen to paper or start typing, but I don't trust things. So I went right to the copyright agency, paid the money, and it's copyrighted. I don't want to take a chance of having someone come back and start fighting me or stealing my materials. So my first advice to you is get copyrighted. It's $55, but it's well spent $55.
Oh yeah. Dude, that's the first order of business. First, that's excellent. Well, good advice on that for sure. Eric K., my good friend, and a wrench extraordinaire as well. Eric, thank you for popping in, buddy. It is great to see you. Let's see.
Hail, Eric.
Hail, Eric K. I hope you're doing all right out there, man. I hope you're staying fire free. I don't know if this fire is still going on, but dude, I hope you're doing all right out there. Literary agent negotiates for you, but in a super crowded market, does it really help? Maybe a super agent, well known, helps. Yeah,
but I don't know. I've done the pitch letters. I've sent to a few agents, and maybe later on I may. But again, I want to keep I want to keep my material to myself.
Sure, sure. Eastland says, I want to hear more about copyrights and IBN numbers. Anyone else also curious? I don't know much
That's a
about
good.
those things. That
That's
is
a
a good
good
one.
question.
Go for it, man.
If you are ready to put your book in, you you go into the government's copyright site, and uh, it's $55 for the work. Now, if you have multiple works, which luckily, as I was waiting for the first book to get published or find somebody who will publish it, I've already had bare bones of the other two works. What they will do is if you have multiple works, you could put them all together, and it's still only the first $55 as long as you put them together. So I've got my first three works copyrighted, and I only have to pay $55.
Oh, good.
You can
Good.
go up to 10 works
Hmm.
and only pay one flat payment of $55.
Nice.
Yeah, and then the IBN that actually comes from Kindle. They actually put on my ISBN.
Hmm.
So
You spoke earlier about this, but I'll just go back and ask you a little bit about it. The cover again. You were telling me something about the cover art for upcoming books, and this one as well. Just talk about that a little bit. Who helped you with that? Or
this cover here, for All's Fair, is actually pictures in Kindle. They actually have a pinned picture gallery, and I just picked this particular one out of Kindle.
okay.
The others I'm going to go elsewhere. Fortunately, I found out about Vet for Hire. Subscribe to him. He's got some outstanding art.
Oh
And
yeah. Yes.
He's offered for strictly a name. He's offered and actually have given me two covers that I'm going to use for the sequel, which are absolutely amazing.
Nice, man. He is. Oh man, Pep for Hire is amazing. Got a lot of great artists in the FM. That's for sure. Let's see, I had a question. Oh, another one from Eastland. Did you use a lawyer or person or person to help you do that? I guess he means the copyright thing.
No, I done it myself. I did research prior to it and did my own copyright.
Did you reverse IBN numbers? Reverse IBN numbers. I don't know what that means.
Again, that's the probably the ISBN
reserve. Sorry,
and Kindle generated that.
Oh, gotcha. Well, Eric K says use a super chat on Doomcock's channel and Nerdrotics to get those mods working. Posting the link to promote it. Well, Doomcock has promoted it before. He's talked about it.
Yeah,
much, right? Yeah.
Doomcock has always promoted my book, and for that I appreciate it.
He's the man. He is. And he and Gary are two my two. Friday nights, man. All I'm doing is in front of this thing is when Gary's on, then the Doomcock comes on, and I love it when they team up on the Inquisition. So, man, YouTube entertainment's the best. I hardly watch. Occasionally, I'll go and since I don't like modern stuff anymore, I got to be honest with you. So occasionally, like if I go to eat in the living room or something, I'll turn on a Trek episode here and there, something like that. But then it's always back in here in front of the computer, YouTubing it. Of course, I can watch YouTube in there also. But I like getting in the chats.
Yeah,
it's fun meeting people in the chat. It's fantastic, man. What a community!
The YouTube community is amazing.
Oh, it really is. Let's see here, Sandra. Oh, that's giving Raymond permission to post a link. You'll generally do it once a stream.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, you can try. Oh, Gary's cool too. Look, Gary's another one. He's another pay it forward dude. So yeah, that's cool. So yeah, he's
That's
trying.
one.
He tries to
That's
help everybody.
Gary's been one I've been leery, not leery of. I just never really went to him to ask because
No, I understand. He's a busy man. Those dudes, are pulled in all different directions. Um, he has. I think he was so good when he hired Lady Gravemaster. I'm sure that was helpful.
yeah,
So I know Doomcock needs to hire somebody to help him out. I bet. I know he's swamped,
yeah.
but he's the man.
He needs
Um,
he needs to have Harvey do his work.
yes, yes, he needs to push that button. Well, find a
No,
way.
don't push the button.
Don't push
Just-
the button, but no.
Just don't push the button. Just get him to be slave labor.
I wonder if Harvey's like Black Bolt. How will he destroy everything? Will he speak like Black? If he's
No,
out
I
of
just
container or what? I mean, I don't know.
I think Harvey's a living Big Bang. He comes out.
Gotcha.
There goes the universe.
Oh well,
Yeah,
the universe. It's been around long enough.
yeah.
Let's see. They both really do not mind promoting something like that. I'm always happy to post a link. Yeah, because Eric wrenches for Gary occasionally to get people's interest. So there you go. And thanks, Eric. Appreciate that.
Thanks, Eric. I will when I'm a chat with Gary, I'll look you up.
Well, there's the thing, and again, like Gary says it all the time himself, fans do the best work. He believes in supporting the fans, and Eric, knows him very well. I don't know Gary personally, but I'm a big fan. I think he is just fantastic.
Oh, I love Nerdrotic.
Oh,
and
man.
I feel bad for everything that's happened to him.
Oh, it's just horrible stuff that's happened to him, but I admire that man so much, and he's the best. He's really, man. He and Doomcock and I told him this one time, I sent it on the Super Chat one time, they're world's finest. And when it comes to YouTubers like Batman and Superman, we're in the world's finest comic and all the time.
Yes, definitely.
They're the Batman and Superman of YouTube.
Yes, definitely.
Canadian Spider-Man does whatever a Canadian spider can. Canadian Spider-Man, I've been meaning to ask you, are there anywhere places to swing around on buildings the way Spider-Man does in New York, up there where you are, or what? But yeah, YouTube is where it's at. Hollywood is going. It's going down. You are right, sir. Let's see here. I have seen that Eric K. Yep. Yeah. Well, yeah, Gary. Well, look, Gary's the coolest man. He's a man. Let's see.
Okay.
Gary's busy. Yeah.
I'll definitely work to get it on Nerdrotic.
Thanks for that idea, Eric. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Eric.
Maybe Harvey will make a yell like Black Bolt and destroy the Earth. Yeah. Now, maybe what if Black Bolt yelled at Harvey? What would happen?
I think Harvey'd laugh at him.
It's like that old. It reminds me of that old Saturday Night Live spoof when the Clobberin guys, when they were saying there's some things that mankind was just not meant to know.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh man, let's see. Rabbi from another planet. I loves to promote and talk to artists. Check out his channel. Oh yeah, is that Rabbi the big Doctor Who fan? Is that who you're talking about there, Eastland? See if you think. Rabbi's a cool dude. If you're thinking of the same dude you are, he's always on streams of another good friend of mine, a great dude, the TARDIS Zone. Noel over there at the TARDIS Zone. And incidentally, every time I'm talking about friends, I sometimes I forget. In the description below, everyone, we have Raymond's book link on Amazon and his website. Also, links to a lot of my other friends' channels who I've just just made, in many cases, been friends with just since I started on YouTube, who have great channels that are just getting started. And of course, one that I've been friends with forever, my good retro blasting buddies. Anyone who's into 80s, if you're an 80s baby or you just love 80s cartoons and toys and pop culture, retro blasting is a fantastic channel. They're very dear friends of mine. You'd love them. Their videos are incredible. They do cartoon reviews, toy reviews, and restorations and streams about all kind of great stuff. And Michael Retroblasting is a frequent guest on my show, always has been. He's my go-to Star Wars expert, not Star Trek, Star Wars. And he knows everything there is to know if you're into G.I. Joe, He-Man, or anything like that. And, of course, a lot of these other channels that I've made friends with, they're all linked below. Check their channels out. Please support my dear friends, because Latino Slant, Eris of Chaos, the great Loki Mornings of Mischief, the wonderful Rise of the Valkyries, the wonderful Purple Valkyrie. She's just beautiful and amazing. All these wonderful Fandom Menace channels, all just so cool. And many other, and the TARDIS Zone. So sorry about that, Raymond. I always forget to do that at the beginning. But still. One
thing I want to do with my website is not just be a promotional item for my for the book. I want it to be a fun place that people can go to, and we can discuss the book, decide, give me ideas. Maybe I can get another book out of what people people suggest.
Oh, Canadian Answers. There are tons of huge trees around the swing. So my buddy says, Ed, around on my buddy's excavator. Excavator. There you go. Yeah, Okay, that's Rabbi. I don't have, unfortunately, at the moment, I don't have a link to his page. I'll try to dig one up when I can, but you might find him through TARDIS Zone or something like that. Yes, thank you, Eastland. Yeah, that's him, Rabbi. I don't know him personally, but I've been on there with him a couple times, I think, and he is a cool dude. I like that guy. He's a feisty gentleman and a great Doctor Who fan, of course, like me. And dude, Legion of Superheroes. Though, how long have you been a fan?
Since I was a kid. This is the geek in me. I would buy 2 copies, one to read and one to cut the designs out and do adventures with them.
Nice. Oh man, I like that idea. That's creative there, bud.
Yeah, and sometimes I would forget to get another copy and cut one up to play with the characters. So, but
take care of yourself, Canadian Spider-Man. I appreciate you being here, my friend. Thank you.
Yeah, it's since I was a kid.
Nice.
I wish they'd come back with an old school style Legion of Superhero series, but don't make it woke.
Oh, right now it is so woke. See, the thing is, for me, my Legion ended in 1989. Everything they did after that, I just couldn't stand it. It was when Paul Levitt's run, and then in 2007, they tried to bring that Legion back, the Silver and Bronze Age Legion. With a thing called the Lightning Saga, and it was interesting, and it was really them with the right costumes and all that stuff. And then it was just a short story, a couple issues. Then they brought them back again in like 2011. And there were adult versions of them. Paul Levitz was doing it, and it was okay, but it's not the same, man. I'm very picky about my Legion. Up until 1989 is the cutoff point for me because they just ruined them.
I lost interest after they started right after the 5-year jump. I read a little bit of it and I just couldn't get it.
Me too. That's exactly where I just got sick. After the Magic Wars, they went into the 5-year later thing and it got really bad. Keith Giffen makes me so mad. But man, that was such a good book before that.
Yeah.
Definitely. All through the 80s.
Cochrane.
Huh? Who do you have a favorite Legion artist? Because mine might be Cockrum. I vacillate between Cockrum or Grell or some of Giffen's better stuff, but I love all that.
Mine were Cockrum and Grell. Giffen, I just could not get into.
Well, I loved it. I loved the Great Darkness saga. I think he did it great for a while. Then he changed his style.
Oh yeah, the Great Darkness was fine, but then we're having him. The toxic male in me. Once they started putting those Nanook of the North outfits on each Legionnaire, I said, nah. I mean, come on. When Shadowlass was the only one with a decent, sexy costume her entire time, it was done.
Well, let's get Toxic Male for a second here, man. Those 70s costumes on the Legionnaire ladies. Saturn Girl's costume, holy shite.
Definitely.
Projectress costume. I love Dawn Star. Oh my god, man! And
Dawn Star was.
oh, dude,
Hers,
costumes.
she continued. They kept hers the same pretty
For the
throughout
most
all
part,
the iterations.
they covered her later, but yeah, and that was a nice one. Man, I just loved all those ladies had great costumes. Probably, I think my favorite would have been Saturn Girl's '70s costume.
Saturn Girls.
Holy crap!
Shadow Lasses was the second.
Yeah. Oh man. Jeez. Well, Laurel Kent was ungodly. Her costume was non-existent. I loved it. There was so there's no way they would get away with that one today.
Yeah, definitely.
So, the first grade, read about colony ship going out to another world. Ever since I wanted to live in space, where are the flying cars we were promised? They're out there, man, but they're hiding them.
Yeah, but there's too much regulation they'll never go out with all the regulation we got.
You know what happened, dude? I'm gonna tell you. I'll tell you my speculation. They came up with them a while back, and then one of the people who, when it was time to make the decision to start selling them, went out to go get to get dinner somewhere, and they went out into traffic, and then they looked at traffic, and they were driving around in a big traffic area. And they goes, "Oh my God, people can't drive on the ground. If they're in the air, they're gonna." No, they can't.
The thing is, you have to deal with the FAA. The FAA is still trying to figure out how they're going to do that.
Right, because in Back to the Future 2, which I love, you got to chuckle at it. You look at it and go, I'm sure everyday normal schlub could just take a car up into the sky like that. They're not pilots. They're just drivers with driver's license. It's dangerous enough driving a car statistically. There's a danger if you get in one. You know the stats. In the air, it's a lovely concept, but at least in the Jetsons, they're all way, way up there, and in that their technology is like far-flung future.
Right now, for me to get my pilot's license, it was a lot of money. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Sure.
But the FAA is going to look at that and say, okay, a driver's license is not going to cut it. You got to go through the thing so we can get all our money.
Absolutely. Eric. Eric, he lost those damn instructions twice. Ralph Hanley for a few minutes and Hinckley again, lost those damn instructions twice, dude. He lost the instructions. He really could not fly till later. That was a fun show. Remember that one? Greatest American Hero? Yeah. That was a fun show. They don't make them like that
Well,
anymore.
I like the most recent Fantastic Four where there's an agency to certify someone to fly aeronautic vehicles like the Fantastic Car. And they had a license, Franklin and Valeria. I got a kick out of that.
I had to dump. I can't stand the Dan Slott book right now. I had to dump it about maybe a year ago now. So you still on that one? You still reading that one or what?
I haven't. Evidently, the beer bug has hurt the store that I was getting them at, so I hadn't been there for a while.
Oh, I got you. I had a deal when it came out because Marvel has treated the FF, their flagship, the first family of Marvel Comics. The reason there is a Marvel Comics.
Yep.
Like garbage over the past years because of the rights split up, things like that. For example, they will commonly put out books like the History of Marvel Comics with almost no FF in it. And Avengers and X-Men, which I love. I love those, don't get me wrong. But the FF are the most important thing about Marvel Comics because there would be no Marvel Comics without them. And they've been treating them, they remember just a few years back, they actually, unheard of, they canceled the FF book, even though it was very good. But so just the fact that they were bringing it back, I've liked early Slott work. I think he's a nut job, by the way, but he's done some comics I like, so I gave it a chance, and I made a deal with a buddy of mine who's an FF fan when we did our first show. I said, look, I'm I'm going to give it 12 issues, dude, and that's all I can tell you. I gave it 13 because the last one was a two-parter, and it was a Thing Hulk fight. How do you ruin that? Dan Slott showed me how.
Yeah.
So
at least Dan Slott did something right by finally marrying off Ben and Alicia.
That was okay. That was the only thing I liked. But they couldn't get a good artist on the book, dude.
No.
Got a really garbage artist. Renier, thank you so much for being here. I am honored that you were here.
Thank you, Renier.
You are wonderful, dude. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'm just so honored for all of you to be here. Oh, my buddy Shellback popped in. Look. Yeah, there you go. Believe it or not, I am walking on air. I never thought I could feel so free. Shellback, buddy. Good to see you, sir. Yeah. Look, the Slott thing, he's done some good comics before, but now I guess one of the things that really pissed me off, not just the fact that the writing had gone down, not the fact that how bad the art was, in my opinion, but I want to read the Fantastic Four, not the Fantastic 44. And it was so crowded. I can't stand Valeria. I didn't like the way they were handling Franklin. I never liked Valeria. I've never liked Valeria. And they made her intolerable for me. She's smarter than Reed Richards. No, she's not. Shut up, Dan Slott. Yeah. It's just me, though.
I mean, it was the concept of Valeria is okay, but
yeah, I mean, delivered by Dr. Doom. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Remember that story? Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I did.
But anyway, look, I gave it a shot because in its modern Marvel, I didn't expect that much. And again, I might have been a little bit more tolerant, but they could not find a consistent and good artist on the book at all. So.
Even back in the day, they've had some artists that just the John and Sal Buscema's. Perez books were fine.
I like the Buscema run, the John run. Sal did some fill-ins, but John did it a long time. With Joe Sinnott was the key. He made them all look good, I thought. But Rich Buckler. I mean, look, they all tried to be Kirby, and they just couldn't be Kirby.
Right.
But Buckler did a nice Kirby rip. And then Perez and Sinnott, oh, man. And Byrne, you're about to get to that Byrne run. I'll be interested to see what you think about that. I love the ones before that where Byrne drew it with Sinnott inking, and Sinnott inking Byrne's perfect. What you're going to see with that Byrne run, which is pretty good.
Oh, also Sinnott doing Perez.
Oh, Sinnott on Perez. Again, Sinnott Perez. I love it, man. I love Joe Sinnott. He was my favorite Kirby inker, but he was also my favorite inker. But when the one you're about to start, Byrne inks himself. And quite frankly, he needed Terry Austin or Joe Sinnott.
Yeah.
Still good, though. It was good, He never should have inked himself. Jerry Byrne should have never been allowed to ink himself. Let's see. My pet peeve is capes not done well. I like capes. Marvel didn't have a lot of capes. There were some, but DC was the cape company.
No, I'm glad they got away. Marvel got away with capes.
Now you had a few, but not, not compared. Of course, the Legion didn't do capes really that much. The early costumes they did, but I mean, later, when you got into the Cockrum designs and Grell, I met Grell. I'm a big Mike Grell fan, and I got him to sign my big old Legion Treasury edition where he did the big wraparound cover, which was the issue with the wedding of Lightning Lad and Saturn Girl.
Mm-hmm.
And great dude, but he kind of busted my bubble because I asked him, wow, you did Legion so great. You all right, man?
Mm-hmm.
I said, you did Legion so great. I said, were you a fan of Legion before that? He said, nope. Oh, man. But I love his work anyway. I got some sketches from him, some Legion art from him.
Yeah, good. Yeah, he was a good artist.
Oh, got to get up early. Well, I tell you what. I love Grell, and I love Cockrum, rest his soul, who was great on Legion and X-Men.
Yeah.
So, were there any other comics you loved besides FF and Legion, or?
I did the Avengers thing. I like them. But I actually went through after the Heroes Return, the Perez run, and then after Perez left, I lost interest in Avengers.
Understandable.
Yeah, really, it's the Fantastic Four at this point in my life.
Yep. And you're in a good place in terms of the ones you're going to be reading soon next, because that was a pretty good run there.
Yeah.
Like I said, I like that disc you're talking about, man. I can't believe they did that. That they put those discs out with all those comics on them. That was what the 90s.
Those are
Man, amazing. They did it for a lot of them too.
Yeah.
So, pretty damn cool, man.
Mm-hmm.
Well, let's see here. Do you have any? I want to make sure we get everything in terms of what you wanted to say about the book or anything else, by the way.
Right now, like I said, I think the one thing is if anybody's interested in an autographed copy, let me know. We could either do. I know Amazon's doing it where you can get a hardback copy, but and if you want that one signed, send me a DM on Twitter, or actually just email me off the website. I've got my email address there, and then we can make arrangements for you sending it. Or if you want a pure hard copy, send me an email and we'll arrange the pricing and I'll send you a copy. Autographed, personalized.
Nice. Absolutely.
I got a whole bunch here, and I'm looking to, I don't know when the current situation will let me get back out and do signing events.
Yeah.
But
you did a couple, though. You did a couple, right?
Yeah, I did an event at a Second and Charles. That's a secondhand bookstore.
Oh, I love those.
And that was very successful. I learned never do a signing event at a library because that's probably the most boring, and nothing got sold there. But I was going to do a Comic-Con, and that got canceled. I was going to do another event a week ago, and that got canceled. So we'll have to see what happens.
Damn, man. I hope that I hope we do get back to where we can be doing that, where you can go to. You guys got a Second Charles up there, huh? I don't even know where you live, but it sounds really close. We have a couple too. They're nice.
I live in West Virginia, and
I'm down in Baton Rouge, and we got one fairly close to us.
The one is in Maryland.
Okay. Oh, nice. Well, dude, that's fantastic. By the way, hopefully they'll stop all this lockdown stuff, and you'll be able to do more signings and stuff. I've heard of some places still doing signings or still having gatherings and get-togethers and stuff like that. So hopefully it'll be soon.
Hopefully soon.
Let's see here. What's that? Sandra says, if you have a dream of publishing a book, do it. Make your dream come true. Hell yeah, do it. Doesn't matter if you sell a lot of copies.
And that's the thing. The money is nice, but what was important is getting the public to see my work.
Dude, when you held that thing in your hand for the first time, I know you had to be proud. I'm telling you, man. I'm gonna have to ask you because it had to really feel good.
Oh yeah, definitely. Seeing it in my hands.
Yeah, that is amazing. The website, easier for the renters, in the chat. Do you have that? Or
yeah, I do. I'm typing it in now.
Or what? I put your website. Your website is. I can put it in the chat. It's there's a link to it to your website below. In the description, so I can go to that from there.
Mm-hmm.
I think I had your website up. What I do with it? Damn. Oh, there we go. I got your website right here.
Yeah,
let me do that.
I saw it on the links.
Okay, I'm such a dumbass. I forgot I had it up there already. It is in the description, everyone, but still, there it is also now in the chat. Again, I'm still new at this sort of thing on YouTube. I forget things a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I forget the most here, believe it or not? You want to hear the dumbest thing I forget the most when I'm doing these things? Because I used to be on a thing called Blog Talk Radio. And when it counts down and it just starts your show, it doesn't give you the opportunity to start it. StreamYard, you have to click the button, which is fine, no argument. But for 11 years, I'm doing a thing where it counts down and it starts whether you're ready or not. And put it on. So there've been times, I will admit, I'm an ass. I was sitting there going, and I would start. And 2 minutes later, I went, oh shit, I didn't even hit the damn button. I said all that crap, and I'm not even live. I look up, there's the go live button not pressed. Like, what an idiot! Ugh. But anyway, thank you for that, Eastland. Everyone, listen here. You go in the descriptions. We have a link to the Amazon page. We have a link to the one that I just put up there for the website. I guess the website links to the book to the Amazon page as well.
Yeah, you can click to the link. You can click to the link off the website too.
Okay, and also I'm going to put this here. I don't know if this helps anything or not, but we'll just do it so you'll know about it. This is the Goodreads entry on your book that is on there. Just FYI, in case anyone wants to see it. It doesn't have much, but I will tell you they need to edit their description because they got some grammatical errors on there. I just tapped it into a interesting. So yeah, but again, that is a useful site sometimes if you just want to know something about a book that's been around a while, and because it'll have it'll usually a pretty big description, and then it'll have a lot of people giving their opinions on the book. So, but man, look, I apologize to you for taking so long to do this, dude. Other than the
I'm
occasion,
glad we finally got to do it.
Huh? What's that, man?
I'm glad we finally got to do it.
I am too. I am so sorry about that, dude. I wanted to do it long ago. I do a couple of streams here and there, and I had scheduled shows sometimes, but man, I got all of a sudden everything just caught up with me. Now this week, of course. Tuesday I'm joining Loki and the gang. I'm going to be joining part of their crew for the Tuesday night show.
Okay.
And Tuesday night, everyone, I'll be interviewing a gentleman that asked me to do it on Facebook. He's got a new Star Trek comic book coming out, a Star Trek Voyager comic book, Mr. Dave Baker for IDW. So a friend contacted me through him. I don't know the gentleman, but we were going to talk about that book after I'm on Loki's show, and then I had to move the Alan Moore show next Saturday night. For those of you familiar with the greatest and craziest comic book writer of all time, which is just an opinion, I realize, the nutty Alan Moore. But instead of just talking about what a nut job he is, I'm going to talk about all of his works because I've collected them all and read them all since the early 80s. And I once thought, talk about books, I once thought about writing a book about him. But it had meant moving from crayon to actually typing on since I wasn't ready to do that yet. Wait a minute. Let's hear. What did Shellback have to say? I wonder what Sandra would say to that.
Yeah, I wonder too.
She doesn't know. You can go and say you. You can say that you're the apprentice.
She's saying that would be telling. I think that's going to be our own little secret.
Yeah, there you go. Man, come on, Shell. What's wrong with you, Turtle?
Dear.
Yeah, man, what are you talking about? I hope you will come. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I appreciate you having me.
I just feel so bad it took so long, buddy, but I am damn glad we got to do it. Look, dude, come hang. Anytime it could be obviously talking about the book, but you could come anytime you want to just geek out and hang, talk about comics and anything like that. You are more than welcome. We sometimes we just do like a free flowing open thing where I've had buddies like Latino Slant, my buddy Paulie, Shellback's been with us before. A whole bunch of them just come in and we just shoot the shite, as they say, geeking out.
All right.
And talk some more comics with you. So if there's anything else you would like to finish with or add, please do.
As my wonderful wife has said, if you've got something, if you've written something and you want to get it out there, um, make your dreams come true. Make sure you do your research.
Yeah. Words of wisdom. Very, very wise. Thank you so much, wonderful Sandra Feliciano and Raymond Feliciano. I cannot thank you enough for being here. And I'm going to say something in that wonderful chat because I've never had a more lively chat. It's been fantastic. The beautiful Bionic Belly Button was here earlier. Bionic, if you're still listening, you are fantastic.
Yes,
I
she
always
is.
miss you when you're not there at the frolics, but I know you're busy and doing some wonderful work for yourself there. But I hope we see you there soon, and I hope you'll pop in and join me. Join us on the show again whenever you can.
Hail to the Shellback, Eric K. Eastland. Thank you.
Thank you, Eastland, my friend, so much. Shellback, brother. We'll have to talk again soon, buddy. Um,
Latin Slant, we'll get together.
Yeah, Latino Slant, Paulie, if you're out there, bro, like I say, if you guys need to hook it up, I will definitely facilitate that for you. Eric
Okay.
K., my good friend, thank you so much. I'm trying to figure some of the other friends who were here. The wonderful Lori Wilson, not here anymore, but we're going to put your name out there anyway. Renier, you are wonderful and beautiful as well. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Stellar Heather.
Stellar Heather popped in too, yes.
Yep,
The
Stellar
beautiful
Heather's
Stellar
here.
Heather.
Thank you.
Thanks, man, because I always forget people like because if it's been earlier. So I'm not sure if we got everyone or not. But I hope we did.
And of course, my wonderful wife. Thank you.
Your wonderful wife, Sandra. You are fantastic, and then you're always so nice to me when I'm at the chats over there, and you are too as well, Raymond. Dude, I cannot thank you enough for being here, and you're welcome on any time to come and just hang out, man, because we have a lot of fun here.
I will.
Thank you, everyone. I guess all we can do now is play us out with the ever-loving Blue-Eyed Thing. Later, everyone. Have a good
Night.